Hello there, welcome back to profneel. It's a pleasure having you here. When my extra knowledge enabled my students to go overseas for their education, the year was 1991. Prime Minister VP Singh had tabled the Mandal report, sparking off protests all over the country. Delhi, then I was a teacher with the ihmpusa. The youth were on the roads, torching buses, government buses, throwing life over gear. Life was totally out of gear, nothing moved. All educational institutions were shut and the students were going back home or had already reached home. In such circumstances, I received a letter from the girl I was dating in Jaipur who had to finally yield to, who had no other choice but to yield to the pressure to get married. That was heartbreaking. We both were very serious about getting married. And I needed a year to approach her father. But the pressure was too much on her. So she had to yield, and I had to meet her to bid farewell. A student was going to Jaipur in a private bus operator's bus. I joined him. It was risky. The bus operator, of course, had exceeded the maximum seating capacity, charging an exorbitant rate. It was a seller's market. We traveled off the main roads, the main highways, or the highways. We detoured through villages and little routes, back routes, to avoid the mobs to reach Jaipur finally. I reach. I met her, handed over all the letters she had written to me, as a gentleman would, gifted her a sari, bid her farewell. Broken hearted we both were. Bidding farewell is very difficult, isn't it? But I had to get back to Pusa. Because as staff, we were meant to be on duty. So I went to Rambagh Palace, where I had worked a couple of years earlier. Checked with the front house staff whether there were any groups going the chartered buses to Delhi. Fortunately, there was a group checking out at that time. I met the group leader, Philip Lipton from Australia, who was leading a group of friends and family. He was happy to accommodate me, knowing that I was Rambagh staff, former Rambagh staff, and I was also a teacher. But it came with a rider. Neil, do you play cricket? Of course. Then I got to learn from him. He was a professor at the university in Sydney. A Jew. Probably the only Jew I knew who played cricket. He smiled to tell me, Neil, we are cricket buffs and this is the third time we are traveling India. We are touring India. We have toured Eastern India. We arrange cricket matches with local club teams, play a couple of matches, then we enjoy as tourists to see all the places. We are touring Western India this time. And we played at Jaipur, next we play at Delhi, then we play at Bombay, and the year after that we go to South India. With a mischievous smile on his face, he told me, my group members and I have penned down the list of the team that Don Bradman as a captain led. But you have one member short. You're unable to put that name down. If you help us with that name, you get the best seat on the bus. And any favor that you think we could do for you. So I took the list of the names and I just said Vic Richardson, the wicketkeeper, the Chappell brothers' grandfather. He let out a whoop of delight. On the bus I sat with him and his wife Ilana. For the favor he had promised me, I asked him, being a professor, would he assist my student who had a dream to study abroad? He had property, had money, but lacked a resident who could guarantee. Of course, Neil, provided his papers are in order, you both come to Bombay. We are staying at the Taj Mahal, Bombay. But before a date, he told me when they were checking out going back to Australia. He told us to reach Bombay with the documents. And that's how a heartbroken professor was instrumental in assisting his student Jitendra Arya, class of 1990, to fulfill his dream of studying abroad. And extra knowledge always helps. For on the road from Jaipur to Delhi, we were all discussing cricket, geography, history, economics. And being a Jew, he was talking about the Palestine issue and the Israel issue and the US and everything else. And the beauty of the relationship is that Philip and I, after 3-4 decades, are still in touch with each other. Before every cricket series, we talk about the teams, we talk about the relative things, about the players' performance, and about the IPL and what damage it has done to cricket, because he even doesn't like IPL. Jitan Dade went to Sydney and assisted the alumni who were passing out 2 years later as a guarantor to pursue their dream of studying abroad. Sometimes a broken heart can yield benefits manifold. Embrace the twist to enjoy the turn. Thank you.